Welcome back to CryptosRUs. I am George. We're all George. So, let's talk about today. A lot to talk about. Markets looking green. And even Nvidia is looking like it wants to turn green. So let's talk about everything and talk about the massive move that's coming for Bitcoin and Solana and others. All right. Let's do it, guys. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Let's see. We're starting out today at 113. Not bad. Much better than yesterday. And ETH is starting out today above 4,600. Sol on fire today above 215, around 216. And someone like CRO is still up 43% and doesn't want to stop. So are we in altcoin season? Yeah, we are. At least for a selective few. We're at the very beginnings of it. All right, let's see. We're starting out today. The U.S. market right now is looking green, at least for NASDAQ. And I already talked about Nvidia yesterday. If you missed it, well, to summarize, they beat their top line, bottom line, revenue, profit, sales, everything. And this is despite the fact that they didn't sell a single chip to China. They beat everything by a large margin. They went up by 50% in terms of revenue year over year for 9 straight quarters. This company is unstoppable if you haven't noticed, okay? Like, there's a lot of people that tend to, like, I don't know, get worried about Nvidia. There's nothing to worry about. They really just have a monopoly at this point. But what was weird was, yeah, after reporting, you could see their stock shot down almost 4%. No reason at all. It made no sense. People are afraid, well, they might not be able to sell to China. The thing is, they have spectacular numbers without selling to China. What about when they do? It's going to be even better, right? Just put 2 and 2 together. But I'm glad to see that it has now flipped from deep red into green territory as Wall Street starts realizing that you shouldn't be afraid of Nvidia. We'll see how today goes. But Nvidia was kind of like the catalyst we're all looking for to push tech higher, to push crypto higher, to push everything higher. It was like the interim catalyst that we're waiting for. So let's see how it goes today. A couple other things. Jobless claims came out today. Fell down slightly. Just slightly below estimates, which isn't all that great, I guess. And GDP came out today and showed GDP went up last quarter versus the first quarter. So we had a couple of economic news that's more on the good side. So that's good. That's good. And we have a lot of Fed drama too. You know, Lisa Cook is suing, saying that she can't be fired. So waiting for the courts to decide on that. And we got a whole bunch of new people ready to replace Fed Chair Powell. A lot of Fed governors. You got the vice chair. You also have Rick Ryder from BlackRock. That would be interesting. Very interesting indeed. So, yeah, we'll see. We'll see. It's not, you know, there's only like, what, 9 months? No, 8 months until Powell gets replaced. Are we going to get those rate cuts we want? I think so. I think so. All right. Now moving on, let's see, Bitcoin inflow yesterday, not bad, but ain't terrific either. 81 million, mostly from BlackRock, of course. No surprise, BlackRock, in case you're wondering, holds like 740,000 Bitcoin at this point. More than what even Binance holds. more than Coinbase, more than Strategy, BlackRock is dominating over 3% of the overall supply. And they're starting to dominate with ETH, which is what I covered yesterday as well. Another 307 million inflow. Again, almost all of it into BlackRock's ETF, 263 million. So BlackRock is trying to dominate ETH now. And soon, when the other ETFs come out, they're going to dominate them as well. But positive inflow, of course, is good. You're removing crypto from the overall supply, and they're pretty much locked up. I mean, obviously, there could be outflows too, but when you have so much being locked up, chances of all of it, being unlocked and being sold becomes less, right? Let's see. As for Bitcoin, you know what? We still have that pesky whale. We still have that pesky whale that decided to unload 36,000 Bitcoin last week, right? No, actually it was this week. It was Sunday and this week. And this whale decided to sell some more. Don't know why. I mean, he sold 36,000 already, and then he decided to sell 750 more. He's just unloading it, this time on Binance. Now, the thing is, we don't know if he's swapping for something. Like, he may be swapping for ETH. He may be swapping for Sol. We don't know. But he is dumping a hell of a lot of Bitcoin, and no one truly knows why. Right? It's kind of weird. It is kind of weird. This is definitely not the time to be taking profits when so many new things, new innovations, new companies, new reserves are being built. For example, you have a new mining company called American Bitcoin, backed by Trump's sons and Hut 8. They'll be launching, and you could buy their stock starting in September, right? A brand new initiative. They want to become one of the biggest Bitcoin miners on the planet. And, Trump's not going to let them fail. They're going to exceed. Anything crypto related so far, the reason why CRO is shooting up is because of Trump media. World Liberty Financial, when they list their tokens, probably go skyrocket. Trump coin obviously did very well. And this will probably do very well as well. So that's coming. But also, in addition, we still have a lot of people adding to their Bitcoin stockpile. The reserve is getting bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. Every single company out there on this list just keeps on adding more and more and more and more. This is the reason why Bitcoin is going to go a lot higher. It's been very calm this cycle. Look at the previous cycles, how we had these parabolic tops, but we also had some crazy volatility too. This cycle, yeah, we had some 10, 15% drops. We consider them pretty volatile, but when you compare to previous cycles, they're like nothing. Look at it. It's just like almost a straight line upwards, right? Previous cycles, more like this, but they tend to come down very fast too. So we're nowhere near the top. I don't know if we're going to hit 500,000 by the end of this year. Probably not. But there's no reason to think we won't just continue the same trajectory forward. And we may end up somewhere between 200, 250,000. But here's the kicker. We keep on going. Are all these institutions and companies and long-term holders going to immediately dump after this cycle? Doesn't seem like it. ETFs. I just mentioned BlackRock alone holds over 700,000. Is every single shareholder going to dump? Is Strategy holding over 600,000 Bitcoin going to dump? It's unlikely, but we'll have to see. We'll have to see. In the meantime, we got a lot of crypto doing very well. Solana is definitely heating up. Start out the day at 215. It's not too far off from its all-time high too. So they're voting for this new upgrade, Alpenglow upgrade, that will make the finality time much quicker, from like 13 seconds down to 150 milliseconds. This will allow Solana to even process more transactions than it already is. And they're coming out with the new console, PSG1, which is a wallet and a gaming console, and it has a lot of NFTs built in or something like that. But I don't think Solana is rising because of the console. It's really because just the momentum is back. The upgrade is great, but when you look at the metrics and you look at the new reserves that are being built, the momentum definitely shifted back. So it did something it hasn't done since February, which is what? Break out, have a move, right? So that's what's happening. And of course, I talked about this. Pantera is building a 1.25 billion treasury, but it's not just them. Sharps Technology, 400 million Solana treasury. And you still have others like Sol Strategy that has a whole boatload of Solana in there as well. So all this, fantastic for moving the price, right? And the spot ETF is also coming. Many spot ETFs, not just one. There's like 10 applications that are pending right now. Good stuff. Good stuff. And as for ETH, of course, it's still doing very well. It seems like it has cooled off a little bit, around 4,600, but it's only $200 away from all-time high. Now the institutions and ETFs control close to 10% of the supply. This is how fast things can move. The institutions out there have endless money. I think that's what we forget. Crypto, as large as it is nothing. It's like a drop of water in a large lake in terms of how much liquidity is in this space versus how much money there is out there. So when the money flows in, it takes over really quickly. The way the ETFs and the new treasuries are buying, it could be at 20%, 25%, 30% in months. That's how fast accumulation could be, right? Ben X, CEO, predicts Ethereum will leave stablecoin adoption. I think that's right. I mean, especially if we're embracing Circle, USDC. Yeah, that's going to be correct. But again, you got a lot of companies accumulating now. Kathy Wood buys 15.6 million shares of BitMine, and you know what? BitMine is the largest ETH holder with over 7 billion, and that number was larger, like 8 billion when ETH was at all-time high. But they just continue to accumulate some more. It's wild. It's wild. Again, these kind of stuff you just don't see or hear about in previous cycles. It's happening now in front of our eyes. The maturity and adoption is happening in front of our eyes. Never happened before. This is exciting. Exciting time we're in. And look at this. New York State Common Retirement Fund boosted its XRP holding by 543% in Q2. So it's not just Sol, it's not just ETH. There are people that are still XRP army and they want to load up. XRP already broke through its recent, it's 2018 high this year. But it wants to get back up there and continue forward. And there are some that are loading up. This retirement fund loading up on XRP. That's wild. That's wild. All right. That's about it. Lastly, I saw this. 74% of investors in Kanye's meme coin is in the red. And only 11 wallets made money. So be careful when you decide to get into any hot new meme coin. Normally speaking, this happens. Most people lose money and only a select few make money. And a lot of people think this is Hayden Davis's doing. He sniped a whole bunch, but he may be a founder as well. All right. That's it. Let's see. Market improved or got worse. It's about the same. Nvidia, unfortunately slid down to the negative. Let's see if it can recover. Sol's still doing pretty well at 214. ETH 45.77. Bitcoin a little bit under 213. Coinbase having a good day, plus 1%. Robinhood plus. All right, let's see how today goes. Let's do Q&A. All right, let's see. For today's liquidation levels, we're stuck right in between. If we go to the downside, we got a couple levels here. 112 to 112, basically. I mean, levels we were at yesterday. So if we slide down, we can slide down here, go back into 111s. If we push upwards, there's a big level at 114. So we would have to push all the way to 114 and move a little bit beyond. So, and who's to say we can't do both? But those are levels to look forward to today. 114 or 111. Thomas is asking, ETH futures or SOL futures? Are you talking about leverage trading or are you talking about like real futures? Because if you were going long right now, SOL definitely has the more momentum at this point. Deputy Dog is happy about CRO. Just yesterday, I showed that CRO was still needing to go up 300% to get back all-time high. But now they are up here. So if we adjust this, they only need to go up 189% to get back to all-time high. That's a crazy jump within a single day. I mean, it was big news, but yeah, they still need to go up about 200% to get back to all-time high. Their 2021 debut was at the tail end at the most full-blown altcoin season period, and that's why they were so high. Ricky Romero, I don't know anything about it, so no. Do I hold any CRO? No, but I've been longing it. I made good profit, probably over 10K over this last day. My recent hold right now at open is like plus 5K, but it probably went down by now. You know, sometimes you could, you know, sometimes when FOMO hits, right, you could hop on a bandwagon by throwing a long, and that works. But sometimes it goes down, and you got to be very, very, very careful. Sometimes it just like crashes out of nowhere. Can you talk about projects that were promising a few years ago and are now so behind? Is it still a good bet to keep? Well, the ones you mentioned, like Sonic and Vet, they're still hanging around. They just haven't really climbed up to their previous high. You just have to wait for altcoin season. That's the bottom line. Do they have potential? Yes. Do they have the momentum like ETH or Sol? No. Or even SUI or XRP? No. That's the thing. Will they build their momentum? There's always a chance in full-blown altcoin season, but we're not quite there yet. So that's the only thing I could say. Do I use a stop loss? Sometimes I do. Sometimes, most of the time I don't, which is stupid. But the reason why I don't is because a lot of times these like bounce up and down, and then you just get stop lossed out, and if you do it enough times, you just lose a lot of money. Sometimes it's best to just leave it open so if it bounces down and then it bounces back up. But a lot of times, like something like CRO or something like this, it could cost you dearly. Man, people need to stop. People need to stop selling Nvidia. Selling Nvidia is a very stupid thing, but it is what it is. This is, you know, I don't hold a lot of stocks. Okay, I've been watching more of it. But the one stock that I would hold basically forever would be Nvidia. I got in pretty late. But at this moment, there's no competition. That's the thing. There's zero competition. And don't say AMD is competition. No one buys AMD AI chips. Everyone on the planet that's someone in AI is buying Nvidia chips. They hold a freaking monopoly. So, you know, their profits are only going to increase as these big companies like OpenAI and Meta and Google and Microsoft build bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger data centers. Jim Bean says, I sold my CRO for ADA. Will I be okay? It's not a bad flip. See, like right now, CRO just turned negative, right? Well, I didn't turn negative, but I mean, it went down here. At some point, this momentum is going to stop for CRO. I just don't know when, but on some levels, like right now, the 5-minute scale, it dropped to like RSI dropped pretty low. Just like yesterday, there was a point where it did drop to here. RSI was about 24, and then it started picking back up again. So it could be something like that right now, where it drops a little more, and then it goes sideways and goes out. I don't know, but there are a whole bunch of people buying CRO right now. Phil says market makers hunt your stop losses. That's true. That's why it always seems like whatever you set your stop loss at, that's where the price goes, and then it recovers. It always seems to happen. I got a couple new people in Discord here. Rate my portfolio. This is in my Discord. If you want your portfolio rated, you should post in here. This person here, he's definitely a soulmate. 59% in Sol, That's crazy. And 35% in Bitcoin, 30% in Jupiter, and the rest in a lot of memes. I don't mind all those memes because, you know, and some of them aren't memes. Like Lincoln, Abe, you know, they're not memes. XRP ain't meme. Maybe it is. You know, a lot of those could do very well in the altcoin season. Jupiter is basically a Solana play. So you're talking about over 60% in Solana, right? Normally speaking, I'd say this is too heavy in Sol, right? Especially if you've been sitting like this the entire cycle, you missed out on a lot of Bitcoin gains. But at this point in the cycle, maybe okay. It may be okay because Sol is about to pick up. This person is 60% in Bitcoin, 21% in ETH, 7% Sol Sui, 4%. This is more of a normal portfolio, right? Pretty solid, pretty safe. When you have 60% in Bitcoin, you got that stability. Now you got ETH with their stability. That's like 80+% stability. And then the rest, you got stability but growth, right? But for me, I would put the Sol pile. I would make the Sol pile bigger. By the way, breaking news. You guys know I gotta dig the Clash Royale, right? I freaking hit 10,000 yesterday. This is the most breaking news I could share today. I'm just kidding. But do you know how hard it is to get 10,000 trophies in Clash Royale? Extremely hard. I played thousands of games to get there. It's the most frustrating thing ever in gaming. But I did it. I didn't give up. So just to prove it to you guys. And now I'm gonna go take a relax. I'll relax because you can't go below 10,000 anymore. So now I get to play with different decks and stuff and have more fun with it rather than always trying to grind. You're at 14,000 trophies. You're almost in the pro leagues then. That's crazy. Yeah, to release the Fire Spirits challenge is fun. I played that a little bit. I can't go on the ladder yet. You have to be like 15,000 or something to go on the ladder or pro leagues or something like that. But the good thing is after 10,000, every win gives you 150 trophies rather than like 30 trophies. So that's good. But everyone above 10,000 are extremely good. You normally don't play a lot of like bad people. Chainlink is pumping because of US government. Oh yeah. Oh, look at that. This is the 1 minute. Did it just come out? I better throw some longs on that. No, I'm just kidding. Yeah, but now my CRO turned negative. What is this news? Chainlink integrates U.S. Commerce Department macroeconomic data. New data feeds will deliver government economic indicators directly to blockchain applications. Okay, that's not bad. It's not like a full-blown partnership. It's just getting permission to get access to their data, but it's better than nothing. Pith is probably going up because Chainlink's going up. That's the reason. I wonder if this could turn into like a CRO thing and it go up like 30 or 40%. I hope it can. Like right now, again, another indication that we're in the start of altcoin season is these kind of news are now pumping projects. If this was like last year, none of the news would move any projects at all, like zero. And now that you have good news coming out and immediately you see a jump, that's how you can kind of tell we're in a different period. And that's good. We need more good news to come out. We had a lot. People just ignored them. Pat June, I don't think it's that big of news. They're a data retrieval company, okay? Oracles. You could retrieve data from anywhere. But it's good. Freaking Wall Street. Today could have been a glorious day. But you know, Wall Street is selling off Nvidia and tech right now. Really, I don't know why, but they could not have had a better earnings report. There was not one thing that was bad about it other than they sold nothing to China, which you should interpret as a good thing, because if they did, the numbers would be even better. September rate cut, about the same. We're going to get that rate cut in September. But do we get two more or one more after this? That is the question. Is Chainlink a good hold? Yes. I've been talking about Chainlink in most of my videos. Even outside of this, they are the biggest decentralized oracle there is. They are vital to every single chain and project in the space, especially DeFi projects that need accurate price feeds. They get it from Chainlink. And Chainlink has their CCIP layer, which is like a bridge. They are involved with RWA. I mean, Chainlink is one of the most important projects in this space by far. But their market cap is not representative of that. But there are times they shoot up to the moon. Right now, they're not far from December, which they were at $31. And then their all-time high is $53. So they still need to go up about 100%. Pyth is probably going up because of Chainlink, because Pyth is also an oracle, but mostly for Solana. I guess this is fine. That's just ridiculous. Pyth is at a much smaller market cap, so yeah, I guess this is ridiculous. Pyth is up 50% right now. I should have thrown my long at Pyth instead. But look at how far it is from its all-time high. So when you zoom out, you're like, did it even move at all? It needs to go up 570% to get back to its previous high. That's how far it is. But right now, there's too much FOMO. What's my favorite card I currently own? I don't know. They all serve different purposes. But the most special, of course, is still my Ferrari. You know, when it's a nice, cool day out, I like driving my LC500 because it's convertible. You know, daily driving, I still like my Cybertruck a lot and my Wrangler 392. Although 392, the family isn't enjoying as much as I thought they would. Most in my family don't care for the open air or windows down or loud exhaust or any of that. So, but I still like it. But I have my eyes on a new RS6 and I just don't have the garage space. I'm getting a car lift this Friday. So that'll open up a little bit, one more spot. But I don't think I'm going to get another car. What's your say on Glue owned by Trump advisor? You know, I haven't looked into Glue yet, so I can't tell you. Can you break down the different scenarios where we do or don't get rate cuts? No, at this point, we're going to get it, Pat. We're just going to get it. The argument from some of the governors is, well, if inflation's going up, why are we cutting? Inflation's going up, we should be hiking, not cutting, right? But the economy and jobs and everything, and because of Trump's pressure, everyone's just going to relent and cut. So we are going to get cuts. Now, do we get 2 or 3? That is uncertain right now. But if Trump replaces 2 Fed governors that are pro-cutting and pro-saving jobs and economy, then we will probably get more than expected. But the argument against it is, well, if inflation's going up, why are we cutting? Yeah, see, now it's starting to come down. See, this is why you don't want to throw a long at top. But it could stabilize and then go back up. But it's already up 40-something%. Is rotating, Ricky Romero asked, is rotating 0.2 Bitcoin to SUI a smart move for more X's? It's not a bad move. I think SUI still has a lot of potential. It's holding at 350. It broke all-time high earlier this year, right? Will it get back up there? Yes. Can it get back to $5, $6, $7, $10? I think so. And if you're very, very heavy in Bitcoin, then it's not a bad move. Coinbase is up. Robinhood is up. Finally, Robinhood, I give you guys a heads up. Robinhood kind of been down for a little bit. I think it's ready to break out again, especially as the markets get better. I found this RIT play, I guess REIT, which is like real estate trust. A lot of you guys always ask about real estate, or if you're in real estate. I found this, and this stock has been on fire since last year. It doesn't stop. It's over 150% in the year over year. And what this company does is just buy medical real estate and nursing homes and stuff like that. And we all know nursing homes are very profitable. So what they do is they buy it and they return some of the profits in dividends to people. But they're a real estate holding company. I just came across them recently, but I didn't buy any. But I just thought that growth chart is crazy. Things are waking up. See, now Pith has gone up more. People need to cool it. If this could very well dump like 30% in seconds. All right, Alpha One. What the hell? I guess I'll look into glue. By the way, I still need more clippers on my Discord too. I have the clipping channel here. Okay, need people to help me clip my content, especially during Q&A. I answer so many good questions. I have somewhat controversial takes sometimes. Need you guys to help me clip it, and then in the process make some money. So make sure you join us. So far, I have a lot of people that's been doing it, but a lot of them are like bot. They just use a lot of bots. We have good ways to detecting what's a bot and what's not. So need some good clippers. You can make some serious money doing this. I've heard from other influencers. They are paying hundreds of thousands of dollars towards clippers to just clip their stream. That's why you see all these guys and their clips all around Instagram and TikTok and stuff like that. I'm not going to be paying hundreds of thousands of dollars, but probably thousands for sure, as long as they're good clips. So again, that's in Discord. And the Discord link is in the description in case you're wondering how to get there. CRO, unfortunately, is getting weaker because people are putting money into Pith and Link now. Link came back down a little bit, but Pith is still, okay, it's still going. You know, I raged so hard at Clash, and then I still started playing a little bit more, I calmed myself down. I finally got above 10,000. It's the greatest achievement in my life. Johnny, big super chat. Is it time to take profits and finally buy myself a replacement for an M3 I sold 4 years ago? I took the profit, put in Bitcoin on the Type R, accurate Type S, a manual but family friendly. If you're a little bit older, I would go with the Type S. I think the Integra Type S looks way better. But you know, Type R isn't bad either. But overall, if you want a manual and family friendly, you don't have to go with a sports car. You could go with like a Bronco manual That's a fun car, and it's a big SUV. Very little people know about that. And what else is a manual? You get like a. Oh no, you can't. Yeah, you get a new. I was gonna say. Um, I can't think of a lot of manual cars. But like an M3, a four door could be good. A used M5 could be good. Because those new M3s are very expensive. You could get a used M5 for, decent price, 40s, 50s. Tacoma? I don't like Tacomas because their back seats are too small. John, stop it. I'm not gonna repeat what you just said. Now Chainlink is heating up. Overall, everything's heating up again. Bitcoin's back above 113. Sol's back up to 215. Today is a good overall day. Nvidia is still down or whatever. Need CRO to pick up, so I don't have to sell at a loss. What's my take on Pure Sangwe? I hate the name, but I think, in person it looks cool. It has a presence, but on paper, in pictures and stuff, it looks like a Mazda. That's the problem. There's a Mazda and there's like a Toyota Crown that looks exactly like it. So everyone likes to make fun of it, but in person, no one's gonna mistake it. It is a Ferrari, and it looks great, but it's not gonna hold its value. No one's buying a four-door Ferrari. That's the bottom line. Everyone wants the special mid-engines or the V12s. That's just how it's going to be. If you wanted a really expensive four-door SUV, go with a Cullinan or a Urus that's somewhat cheaper, or a G-Wagon. Okay, Tobias, you don't have to just join the Discord and ask the guys for glue analysis. You don't have to keep sending me super chats asking me to look at it. Go join the Discord and ask others about it. GT Rocker says cars are a stupid waste of money. No, if you buy high-end cars, they actually make you money. All those people that bought high-end Ferraris, they're selling it for double, triple their monies. Look at the F40. F40 is like 2 million, 3 million. F50 is 5 million. My Ferrari dealership, my salesperson told me that pre-COVID, you could have found like a F40 for about 500,000 or less. Now you can't touch F40 without being over 3 million. I mean, do the math there. It's like 6x. So it depends on what car you buy. A lot of them could be collectibles. Anyways, for the cars that are not collectibles, if you have all that money, you got to spend it somewhere, right? You got to enjoy your life, treat yourself a little bit. That's like saying, well, going out is a waste of money. You could always cook indoors or grill for much cheaper. Yeah, but sometimes you just want to treat yourself and you don't want to do it. It's funny how I drew this line here and that somehow became a support level. I was just trying to measure its current price toward the top, and somehow that became a resistance or support. Let's see if it can hold. Sam Altman's collecting Koenigseggs. Yeah, you know, there's a guy. Shoot, there's a few car collectors. Well, Dr. Genocide, big super chat. Appreciate it, man. Appreciate it. There's a few car collectors that, you know, their car collection's like 5, 10, $20 million. And you would think, well, that's just such a waste of money, right? No, because all those cars are super rare. And you'll see with cars, extremely rare cars and expensive cars, they don't go down in price. Even like things like 911s. Why I don't buy Porsches or 911s, because I don't want to overpay. But like even 911, like a used 911 Turbo is selling for above MSRP. A used GT3 is selling above MSRP. So if you got one at MSRP, even after a year or two you sell it, you're still making money. You're not losing money. That's not 20 cents. Red means is at least like $50, I think. Thank you, Dr. Genocide. But don't ask people for their addresses, okay? That just sounds wrong. Am I buying World Libre Financial Coin? If it comes out and it's not like up 500% in a single day, maybe I would consider it. But these days, like, just look at what's happening now. You know, CRO exploded, PIT exploded, just from some speculation, some good news. Link exploded. So we're definitely in a time where good news just pumps everything. Still waiting for Bitcoin to come back. Bitcoin needs to go back to the 120s. All right, guys. Let's end it. Today overall, not bad. Pretty good day. You know, the only disappointing thing is Nvidia. But outside that, you know, we got some good movers. Really good movers. So, stay strong, my friends. Don't get liquidated. Be safe. And I'll see you guys tonight. All right? And make sure you join the Discord. All right. Have a good one. Take care.